good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the wonderful people here on the island of Nevis, those on St. Kitts, those who are listening throughout the Caribbean. Special good evening to our friends and family in Statia, those in Sunshine City, St. Martin, those in Rock City, St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, those in, of course, Virgin Gorda, Antigua, those in Tortola, those who are all across the British and U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and of course Anguilla, Barbados, wherever you are in the Caribbean tonight. Good evening to you. Good evening as well to our friends and family, those in the United States. I know many are listening in places like Brooklyn and Queens and the Boogie Down Bronx. I say good evening to all of you. Friends and family who are up there in places like Boston and Connecticut. Good evening to all of you guys as well. Some of you up there in New Haven, good evening to you. And good evening, of course, to the wonderful people there in Canada, those in Kitchener. I like to talk about Kitchener, maybe because I love the kitchen. And so good evening to those in Canada. Across the pond in the United Kingdom, I say good evening as well. I know it's late there. In fact, based on my time, it probably is after midnight there already. So good evening to you and welcome to this edition of On the Mark. Let me start the show with some good news. I will start with some good news first, and that is that my friend Jackie, you listening, Jackie? Jacqueline, I call her my sister Hanley. She is in the UK, and she is celebrating her birthday, I'm told. Jackie, if it's not so, blame Mems, because Mems told me you're celebrating your birthday. And so I just wanted to say a happy birthday to you. I wish you continued long life, all the blessings in the world. We love you with all our hearts, and we look forward to seeing you soon, because we know you're always here in Nevis. Jackie is the only person in the world, when I live in Nevis and can't find mango, Jackie comes from England and finds mangoes. So Jackie, happy birthday, all the very best, and I hope you and Moses and the family are having a wonderful time. Happy birthday to you, my dear, from all of us here in Nevis, all of us here in Vaughan Radio, but also, of course, from the great Mems herself, Mem Bernadette Wallace. She said to tell you happy birthday. So I pray and hope that you have had a wonderful day and that your birthday has been great, and I wish you many, many more years of good health and happiness. I want to move very quickly from that bright note to a rather sad note, and I just want to extend my condolences. We lost a young woman who passed away here recently, a young public servant. Sharina was her name, and she would have passed away at our local hospital here, and we are still, I have not yet seen the report on the real cause of death, but that perhaps right now is not as significant as the fact that we've lost a young woman. She's a wife, mother of 3 boys, I'm advised, and the daughter of my cousin, and so I think that that makes her my cousin as well, and that is Charles, who is, of course, in Tortola. So Wugsy, as we know him, if you're listening, I want to extend my condolences. I want to extend my condolences to the entire family. Losing someone, particularly a young person like this, is tragic, and I really want to reach out to my brother, her husband. I just want to say to your brother, we spoke, but publicly I want to express my condolences to you and to the children and to the entire family, including my good cousin Wugsy, whom I have spoken to on a few occasions already. So I'm prayerful, and I hope others will join me in praying for this family who are bereaved at this difficult time. I also have expressed condolences on the passing of young teacher Mr. Fraser. I had occasion to speak to his dad this evening, Alvin Fraser, and I just want to again express my condolences to that family. I know that they will lay teacher Fraser to rest in his homegoing this Friday, and I'm pretty sure that there will be an outpouring, because he was such a young man who was so loved on Nevis, and who was such a dedicated and committed teacher. So again, I extend my condolences to the family, and for all of those out there who are mourning, who are having a difficult time, who might be hospitalized, my heart goes out to you, and I really extend my best wishes and my prayers to you, and wish for a speedy recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot to get into, and so let me start by indicating, because my brother Astro has sent me a note here. Let me make sure I get it right. So I'm going to go to my phone, and what my brother Astro is telling me is that the Nevis Cricket Association will be hosting St. Kitts in a 50-over match this very Saturday. This coming Saturday, it will be at Brownhill, the Brownhill playing field at 10 a.m. You know, Brownhill, let's say, have one of the best grounds in Nevis now. VOJN is also great. ETW is also great. But this match will be at Brownhill, Nevis versus St. Kitts. 50 overs of scintillating cricket right there in the heart of the Republic of Brownhill. The metropolis of Brownhill. And Astro has said that they start at 10 a.m. on Saturday, so we invite one and all to come out and to be a part of that St. Kitts versus Nevis cricket matchup. St. Kitts versus Nevis always is going to bring some excitement, and so we encourage you to go out and be a part of that. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of discussion. I actually feel good about it. Some say, a fellow called me today and said, Mr. Brandt, you're getting a lot of licks. I said, that's all right. The fact that I'm getting licks means that our democracy is alive and well. You know, sometimes people don't stop for a moment to consider how privileged we are to live on the island of Nevis. How privileged we are to live in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. A lot of things that we take for granted here are not permitted elsewhere. And so some people feel that when they attack me or curse me or do whatever they want in relation to me, that it gets me down. Let me assure you, it does not. Because I have always consoled myself with the simple truth that if they crucified Jesus, who was God's Son and who was perfect, then who am I? Who am I? I am but a sinner, an unworthy vessel, and God has seen it fit to put me in a position for a time such as this to do the best that I can. And so I want to encourage our people not to become overwhelmed with negativity or with the fact that there's criticism. There's some countries in the world where you dare not say a word of criticism against your leaders, because if you were to do that, you disappear. Not here in Nevis. And so sometimes I feel that people think that what they're doing is so devastating and people are going to shy away and go home and cry into their pillow. Not me. I welcome the fact that you have the right to speak. And all that I've been encouraging on this show over the years is when we speak, just speak in a way that edifies us, our audience, and all of those that our speech may impact. If we choose to speak in terms which are purely emotional, terms which add no value, if we choose to peddle misinformation and falsehoods, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. And so I really don't care what you have to say about me, because I'm very comfortable in my skin. And God has blessed me abundantly. And for that I am truly, truly grateful. From whence I have come, from being born down in Hanley's Road in a place called Scarborough. I wasn't born in hospital like some. To where I now am, I know it is only through the grace of God. And who God bless, no man can ever curse. And so I am not perturbed by the noise, because your very ability to make noise speaks to the strength of our democracy. My job as the leader of this island at this point in our history is to come to you, whether here on Von Radio every Wednesday that God permits, to come to you in press conferences, to come to you on social media, to come to you in our one-on-ones, to come to you in every available forum. Everybody who invites me to come and talk on their radio station, I accept. Some say, why would you go to such and such a place? You know they're hostile to you. I say, it doesn't matter. My job is to speak to our people, all of our people, and to speak the truth. You may not like the truth. As I said, when Pontius Pilate of old said to the gathered mob, who should I free and who should I crucify? He said, here is an old wicked man. You remember that? Barabbas. And here is a sinless man, Jesus. And the crowd say, free Barabbas, the old criminal, and kill Jesus. Those biblical accounts aren't just put there for joke, you know. They're put there to guide us. And if we are guided by them, we will understand there is nothing new under the sun. People have castigated good people all of their lives. And so, sometimes, the vision that the leader may have, some may not see it. But ask yourself, why is that person the leader and not me? It has to be that others see in that person that capacity, that ability to have giraffe vision. And sometimes when you're too close to the ground, you can't really see. And you must sometimes say, well, in a democracy, the people have elected their leaders. Not to follow, but to lead. And I believe that that is important. But in leading, one must also be willing to listen and to have humility and to understand that one, being an imperfect being, does not have all the answers. And that is exactly what my government has done. Like us or don't like us, it really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, we have a little thing here called an election. And that is when people go out and register their likes or dislikes. Not through radio stations, not through polls, not through social media posts and fake profiles. No, through the ballot box. And I feel very proud to say that since 1992, which by my math is 33 years ago, the Concerned Citizens Movement has won every single election held on the island of Nevis, except one in 2006, and I believe we all knew what happened in that one. In 2011, there was one where Big Black Fox in Cox took some money and betrayed the people of Nevis. And at the end of the day, we had to go to court and fight over that. But less than 18 months later, the people corrected that problem. And the CCM has gone on since then to win in 2013, 2015, 2017, 2020, and twice in 2022. Now, does that sound like a party that people don't like? Does that sound like a movement that people do not trust? Because in a democracy, there is a saying that the voice of the people is the voice of God. And when I say the voice of the people, I want us to be very clear. There are some voices that make the most noise. All day, all night, clang, 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 clang. Doesn't mean that they are the voice of the people. There are people who don't say a word. They listen, they observe, they inform themselves. And they know truth from fiction. And what I have found here in this beautiful island of ours is that some of us engage in such fiction. We try to play on people's emotions. We say all kinds of things. I've seen language about white people and colonialism and slavery and sellout and corruption. All of those are emotive terms that are employed. But my question, brothers and sisters, is where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? You know, I commented just this evening. I said, what I find ironic about all this discussion that is generated and being generated about the sustainable zone, special zone that we're talking about. The legislation passed in the federal parliament and therefore applicable to both St. Kitts and Nevis, but we know that the first application has come to Nevis. And we know that that is come for an area of Nevis that is currently undeveloped and barren and has been that way for the last 100 years. Nothing over there. No road, no water, no electricity, nothing. Not even farming is over there. Because the lands are not arable lands like the rest of Nevis is. It's on the windward side, Atlantic Ocean side. Lots of erosion. And that is what we have, that corridor of Nevis, completely undeveloped. And so we have a development that is proposed. And let me emphasize proposed, because I hear so many people who keep making the false claims that the government don't sign off on this and the government don't sign off on that. Just yesterday someone rang me and said, oh, the people have said if you're interested in a job to show your interest and sign up here, and that means the government don't sign off. I said, how stupid. How silly. So if people ask you to register an interest, that means the government has signed off on something? Did the people hire you? Or they just asked to register an interest? And that's the thing I'm saying to our people, let us think. Because where emotion takes over, logic flees. And that is a truism, which is a global truism. Where emotion takes over, logic tends to flee. Because emotions are what they are. And in many instances, quite useless, if you ask me. I prefer logic, sensible thought. And when you have the facts, you assess the facts. Good, bad, not so good, not so bad, and then you decide. But when people noise with not one iota of fact to support that noise, then I think it devalues all of us. Tonight, going back to that comment I made to someone, I said, you know, it's fascinating that on this whole talk about a proposed development and sustainability and all of this zone talk, that my government has been accused of doing things in secret. We were accused of all manner of things. I heard one particular commentator say that we've been planning this zone since 2020. It's been 5 years now. It's like, wow, amazing. All kinds of things they've come up with, all kinds of stories they've concocted. They go online and they research a man called Roger Ver, and they castigate him and say he's coming to do this zone. Lord of mercy, Mr. Ver knows nothing about the zone. Mr. Ver has made no application to this government. Mr. Ver is not involved in this development. Yet, person after person keep calling the man name and saying all manner of things about the man. Well, that's their business. And he, I'm sure, has the necessary resources to deal with that if he so chooses. But it really doesn't seem to matter what we say, you know. What I mean by that is, a man shouts often enough and loud enough that 1 + 1 is equal to 3. You then come and you say, no, these are the facts. 1 + 1 is equal to 2. It was equal to 2 yesterday. It is equal to 2 today. It will be equal to 2 tomorrow. And people say, I believe 1 + 1 is equal to 3, and that's what I'm going to stick with. And so sometimes I wonder, really, does it really matter to have conversations? Because some people, their minds are already made up because of whatever prejudice they have. Sometimes somebody just don't like you, so no matter what you say, they don't want to hear it. No matter what the truth is, they don't want to hear it. Some people have gone so far out on a limb on the basis of misleading information that when they get the facts, you know what, they're ashamed to come back off the limb, you know. So they push up their mouth and they say, me no care what he say. I like you tell, me no believe him. That's the case. So, let us go back to what I said to the person tonight. I said, as this whole thing unfolded, the government that I lead was accused of secrecy and secret dealings and not coming to the public. I made my first public statement about this on the 11th of August, 2025. That's the first statement that I made. And I then made a number of other statements, even coming back to my old haunt here on Let's Talk with Weber and his heavyweights. And my purpose in doing that was really to correct the fake narrative that had been put out there. And if you realize, while some may not be willing to admit it, as the lies have been corrected one by one, all they do, they stop tell that lie sometimes and they move to the next one. That's all. But what I found was interesting, the big accusation was the government got something to hide and they're in secret and whatever. And my position was simple. I'm a serious man doing a serious job. I am not and have not been elected by the people of Nevis to engage in tomfoolery. Some people want you to engage in some conversations which take you nor them anywhere. Well, I don't have time to waste. And if I have time to have idle chatter, I got family that I could have it with. When I engage with the people of Nevis, I engage with the people of Nevis as a serious leader is supposed to engage. That's what I do. And so I am not going to jump out there, and I don't care who say what, to say I'm having public engagements on matters until I am clear as to what those matters are. You can accuse me all you want, it matters not to me, because when I come, I must come to you with information, not conjecture, not well me no know, let me check, not I'm not sure. I must come to you with information, and I can't do that until I have something in front of me. But that didn't stop them. So they went on. So after I started to speak, commencing on August 11th, forgive me, why am I saying August 11th? I think it was August 25th, forgive me. Commencing on August 25th, I correct the record. That was the first time I said anything about this. I then had a number of various appearances. And then I heard the leader of NRP say, the Premier sound like he's a salesman for this project. Why the people them who have in the project don't say something to the people of Nevis? And I thought to myself, that's a fair point. At some point, those who are developing the project have to say something to the people of Nevis. I am just at this point as the Premier sharing information. This is information that the NIA has. This is the information that the Cabinet is looking at. But the whole hullabaloo, we don't want to hear nothing from no Premier. Let the people come and talk to us. Well, I think it was 2 days ago, the people finally spoke. They did what I'm calling a world premiere, because they did this video. They put out a statement. I think it runs about 15-20 minutes. And they introduced the founder and developer and investor introduced himself. He introduced his entire team. He said who they were. People could go on Google. They find out who they are. SOM is the big architectural firm. That's who they're working with. The guy from SOM spoke. The environmentalist Dr. Deborah Brosnan, who is well known to Nevis and one of the foremost reef restoration experts in the world, she spoke. And then they showed a rendering of the project. They then went on to say what benefits they anticipate this will bring. And the NIA has mandated that work must go to locals first. And they went down the line. Now here are the noisemakers. We don't want to hear nothing from the white man. In fact, a good cousin of mine, I won't call his name because he looked like he started to turn politician in his old age. But a good cousin of mine, I see him send out something today, say that we elect governments. We want to hear from our government. We don't want to hear from no developer. So I said, but when I was speaking, they said we don't want to hear anything from you. You're selling the project. What are you doing? Let the developers speak for themselves. No, the developers speak. They don't want to hear nothing from the white man. They don't want to hear nothing from the developer. They want to hear from the government. Well, you see, that is a good example of when you listen to noise and try to respond to noise. That's why I always say ignore the noise and stay focused. Stay focused in a laser-like way. They said, you know, a story is told of a man riding on his donkey going down the road. A fella tell him, that looks terrible. It looks terrible that you're on top of this poor beast. And look at you, you're so heavy, riding on this donkey. And you know what the man end up doing? The man end up get off and put the donkey on his head and walk with the donkey on his head. And then the next person telling you look so stupid. Anybody ever hear that man carrying donkey on the head? So you sometimes have to ignore the noise. If you try to respond to everybody, you end up yourself in all kinds of problems. And I know sometimes people think it's disrespectful or dismissive, but you cannot get up the hill if you kick at every barking dog. You cannot get up the hill. And you have a lot of noisemakers, that's all they do. Today they say one thing, tomorrow they say something else. And they try to take whatever you said, they twist it, they try to turn it into all kinds of things. You know what I've said, ladies and gentlemen? I spoke to a gentleman some time ago. He was doing a project. And as with everything else, because they have some what I call haters of progress in Nevis. They only have to hear ground has broken over there on something. They go on, go videotape, and they make all kinds of claims, outlandish claims about people. That's all they do. And I reached out and I said to the gentleman, well, I see that there are these negative comments. And the gentleman told me something. It's a profound life lesson that all of us can learn. He said, I will not respond because the best response is success. It speaks louder than anything that anyone can say. You want to become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, mechanic. You want to master farming or fishing. And somebody, oh, you're so stupid, you could never do that. When they see you coming in with your pot full of fish, your boat full of fish, they see the produce that comes out of your farm. They see you with your stethoscope, you're now a doctor, a cardiologist, a radiologist, a pulmonologist. They see you in the court arguing a case for your client. And then they reflect that whilst they were standing by criticizing you, you were doing what you needed to do. And your success now is the best answer. But human nature being what it is, I can assure you that your success will also become the basis for more criticism. You see, a lot of people seem to be of the view that people attack people because they don't like them or they're upset with them. I have persuaded myself that the better view is that people attack you because they want to be you. Let me say that again. A lot of times people attack you because they want to be you. You see, we have a way sometimes to look at our lives and we are uncomfortable with what we have done with our lives. We are like the foolish virgin in the Bible. We are like the servant that was given the talent. We buried it. And guess what? We now, many of us, find ourselves in the winter of our years. We hear the church bell already start to tune up. We understand that if the biblical promise of 70 holds, that many of us don't have long to go. And rather than seeking to right our way with God, rather than saying it is time for us now to get closer to God, we look back at our own lives and we are resentful. But the difficulty with the human spirit is that we are not resentful at ourselves, where the resentment should be directed. We are not looking and saying the decisions that we made, the bad decisions that we made, those decisions are what have us where we are. No. We start to resent other people. So we find some people in the winter of their years, they don't have nothing to drive. So they vex with a young man who has a car. They don't have a house. They vex with a young woman who has a house. They don't have a job. They vex with some youngster who's hustling 2 jobs to get ahead in life. And that, brothers and sisters, is the apt description of quite a number of us. And you know, sometimes, objectively, some people look like they're doing quite well for themselves. But even they are upset, you know why? Because they're watching somebody else they feel is doing better than them. And that is why I read somewhere at some point that you ought not to compare yourself to others. You know why? There will always be somebody worse off than you. And when you do that comparison, it may make you arrogant. You feel you're better than people. And there will always be somebody better off than you. And when you make that comparison, you become resentful. And I have applied that in my life. I stay in my lane. And whether you're king or pauper, I am not comparing myself to anybody. I like to live my life like a round of golf. Golf is a good game to play against yourself. You go out there and you hit the ball in the bush and you want to know, what did I do wrong? The other day I take a big swing, and after my swing complete, the ball still on the tee. All I hear is whoosh, me not touch the ball yet. What did I do differently? What did I do wrong? You challenge yourself. And more of us need to stay in our lane and challenge ourselves to be better. Challenge ourselves. How can I do better this year than I did last year? But if you're walking down the road and one eye is on Tom and the other eye is on Mary, and because you feel Tom is ahead of you or Mary is behind you, you are disrespectful and arrogant in relation to Mary, and you're resentful of Tom. And I'm telling you all, I am not any psychoanalyst, psychologist, psychiatrist, or any psycho anything. But I'm telling you, there are too many people who are venting their spleen on the public airways of this country because they're bitter about the failures that they are. Some of them tout their degrees. I got all the degrees in the world. Well, you could got degree and you not got nowhere to live. You not got no job. And you can't hire nobody because you not got no little business. You not got nothing. But you tout the fact because you see, you feel that having a degree makes me somebody. No, having a degree gives you a key, a ticket to get on the field. You must go on the field now and use that degree to elevate yourself and your community and your family, to hire people to do something of note. And I feel that that is the problem. A lot of people, unfortunately, are lying on their beds at that 3 o'clock in the morning hour when you are there only with the truth. Only with the truth. And you reflect and you say, boy, look at me. I don't got a thing. I have not done a thing with my life. And because of that, you turn around and you're blue vex with other people who have sought to do something with their lives. So who are you going to blame if you were the foolish virgin? Who are you going to blame? You should have put light in your lamp. If you were the servant who got the talent and buried it, who are you going to blame? And so there's a level of bitterness. And politics, unfortunately, gives some an avenue for that bitterness. Look at them. Some of them can't even give you a smile. Their face, they smile, the features in their face, the muscles that use for smiling, them muscles they done atrophy. They can't smile because they always vex. Wake up a morning, vex. Lunchtime, vex. Noontime, vex, vex, vex. And what the vexness is? Because you see me on the mark here, and I am having a conversation with the people, naturally, unadorned. I don't have a difficulty, because you see, the thing about me is I know who I am. I know from whence I've come. I know the path that I've taken. And that is why the noise doesn't bother me. Those who want to spend their time making noise, that's your business. While you're making noise, I'm working. And I'm asking the people of Nevis, when you hear the noise, just chup your mouth and keep walking. Keep walking and keep working. Because that is the only way we're going to build this little island of ours. So people have been sending me all kinds of things that all kinds of people say. I don't have any time to read a lot of that. I just smile to myself because a lot of times I look at the messenger. And when I see who the messenger is, I just chups and I keep walking and I keep working. Because if you have not lived a life where you have demonstrated you have anything to offer, well, how are you going to tell me? You now work nowhere, but you're going to lecture me about employment. You have never had a business anywhere, but you're going to lecture me about creating business opportunities. But if you couldn't create any for yourself, are you going to create some for me? And what I find is fascinating, I remember they had some Obia man say he could give you the lottery numbers. Pay him $1,000 and he give you the numbers to win $1 million in the lottery. And people rushing in and go give the man the money to get numbers to go play lottery. And I asked one simple question. I said, if the Obia man know the numbers for the lottery, why you not play them for yourself? Why you don't play them for himself? Sometimes we just have to stop and consider that a lot of those who are seeking to lecture us have done nothing with their lives. If you have done nothing, I suggest you don't have anything that you can teach anybody. And so, the conversations are going on. Some are in favor, some are against, some are loud, some are obnoxious, some are behaving in all manner of things. In fact, somebody asked me this afternoon what happened to the other letters in the alphabet, because every article is SSZ. So I'm to A, B, and C. And I just smile. Because I think our people understand that at the end of the day, where the rubber meets the road, it's really a very simple question. Do we want development? And if the answer to that is yes, is this kind of development a development that can benefit us? Very simple. All this emotion and all this chatter that people have, it's just neither here nor there. And so, we have started out as a government because on the 25th of August, when I spoke publicly on the matter, I made a commitment that we will have a series of public engagements. We have started out with a series of stakeholder engagements. And our first one was with the business community. We met at the Four Seasons with the business community for 3 hours. And we shared information with that community about the proposed development on the south coast of Nevis. Our second meeting was with the parliamentary opposition. We invited the 2 members of parliament who sit opposite to come to the cabinet and to meet with the cabinet, and we shared with them all the information that we had on this project. Questions were asked, questions were answered. The meeting was a very cordial meeting. The leader of NRP left that meeting and put out some statement which left all of us scratching our heads. Because we wondered, how could you have left such a meeting? Cordial, questions asked and questions answered, suggestions made and noted, to go out to say how disappointed you were in the meeting. The other member opposite, the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons, put out the opposite statement and said she thought that the meeting was very helpful, very useful. What am I to say or do about that? Because it seems like even the effort to engage is now being spun as something negative. And I said to my team, let us just continue to do the right thing. Because I am not aware in 20 years in politics that any opposition has ever been called to the cabinet room of the Nevis Island administration to meet with cabinet. I sat in opposition. I was never called when NRP was in office from 2006 for their 5 years and 18 null and void months. I was never there. They never called me to discuss nothing with me. I am not aware that they ever called any member of CCM to discuss anything with them. But we called the members opposite to the cabinet room, sat with them cordially, respectfully, because we recognize they represent people. And so we met with them. What are your views? What are your questions? What are your concerns? Hasn't never happened before. And then, just this morning, not this morning, what am I saying? Yesterday morning, we would have met at the Four Seasons with the church leaders. I'm told that the invitation went out to the Evangelical Association, the Christian Council, and to the Seventh-day Adventists. I confess I don't recall seeing anyone from the Seventh-day Adventist faith, but the other 2 organizations were very well represented. And again, we had a good meeting. Questions were asked. Some of the members there, you don't need to light no candle to look for them. You know what their politics is. But that didn't matter to us. We engaged. And we engaged respectfully. There were 1 or 2, I thought, unfortunate outbursts. Which were unnecessary because nobody come there to fight. But at the end of the day, I tried to be Christ-like. They say that's what Christian means, to be Christ-like. And Christ had tolerance. Yes. Patience. Love. Kindness. And we engaged like that, as Nevisians and brothers and sisters should. Again, questions were asked and questions were answered. The comment that stayed with me came from Pastor, Reverend, Doctor. Lord, I don't even know how many titles he has. That's a lot of titles, you know. But Pastor Dave, let me use that language, Morton, His Eminence, and he was there. And I always enjoy my interactions with Pastor Morton. He's one of the wittiest people that I have met. I don't always agree with him, but I always enjoy the repartee. And he said, got up and took the mic. And the comment of all comments that stayed with me, he said, I'm leaving here today better informed than I was yesterday. And I said, our job here is done. Because that is what, as government, we must do. Provide the information. What you do with the information is your business. But at least let it not be said that you don't have the information. He said, I am leaving here today better informed than I was yesterday. And so, tomorrow, God willing, we will again be meeting with, this time, the tourism stakeholders, hotels, taxi drivers, and the stakeholders who are in this important tourism undertaking, seeing that this proposed project is going to be largely tourism related. We then have other meetings that are scheduled. We'll be meeting with the youth. We will be meeting with our contractors and our heavy equipment operators. And then the following week, Monday, 27th of October, we will be having a town hall meeting for the general public at the Anglican Church Hall in Charlestown at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. And we're inviting all who can come to come so that we can have a discussion with the wider Nevisian public. We intend to stream that meeting so that people can come. 7 o'clock. And we hope again that we can do 2 to 3 hours of engagement. We do not want anyone to say, you hear I'm ticking the boxes, the business community, the opposition in Parliament, the churches, the hotel and tourism stakeholders, taxi drivers, the youth, the contractors and heavy equipment operators. We also, forgive me, to meet with the police and security forces. Senior civil servants will be briefed. General public will be engaged. Why is that important? Because we do not want one single soul to say they did not know. And whatever people's minds may say to them, we want everyone to understand that they have accurate information. I want us to leave these engagements the same way that Pastor Dave said he left, being better informed today than he was yesterday. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, the very essence of open government. I suspect as these meetings continue, we're going to hear again, we don't want to hear nothing from the government. Why the developers not talking for themselves? And when the developers talk, they're going to say, we don't want to hear nothing from no developers, the government should be talking. Just ignore the noise and keep doing the work and keep moving forward. One step at a time, but constantly moving forward. And I am so resolute. I am so resolute in my mind that we must continue to move forward. You know, as I reflect, one of the big things they kept saying about Mark Brantley and his government, oh, they're not bringing no investment. You all remember the phrase, the investors are out at sea? When last you all hear it? When last you all hear it? The investors are out at sea. They say we can't bring no investment. We can't bring nothing. Now that investors are coming, they turn with ferocity on the investors. We don't want you here. And they accuse me of all manner of evil. But you see, that is the nature of man. I go back to Jesus, you know, because he's the best example that any of us could have. He raised the dead. He healed the sick. He preached the truth. He came to die for our sins. And yet he was ridiculed, attacked, persecuted, and eventually crucified. Crucified. A man who was sinless, blameless. It just tells you that the heart of man is wicked, the Bible tells you so, you know. And so, you can't spend your time worrying about people and what people got to say and all that. Because if you do so, you'll end up carrying the donkey on your head. You must move forward. And that is the hallmark of leadership. The ability to listen to everyone, but then take the right decision. Guided by God, prayer, and principle. And that is how I'm going to be managed. It will be for the historians to write. But whilst I'm here and I'm on the stage, I can assure the people of Nevis that I will do my very best for them at all times. And I will continue to do that until I am no longer on the stage and I am no longer relevant to the process. But whilst I'm here, I'm going to do my best. And the rest, clearly, that will be up to others. But I'm not going to shy away. I'm not a wilting flower. I don't shy away because people shout loudly at me. No. That doesn't faze me. Because if you are true to what you're seeking to do, if you understand that your motives are pure, and that what you're seeking to create in Nevis are opportunities for our people. You know, I go to these graduations year after year for 6th form and for 5th form, and I see hundreds of our bright young faces. I tell them turn their tassel around, and then our graduates, and they take nice photos. And I go home and I say, what will become of them? Because I was once there many moons ago. What will become of them? Where will they find meaningful employment? Where will they find business opportunity? Where will they find avenue for their art and their creative side? Where will they find avenue for their entrepreneurial spirit? Where? And then I look around the community, an island of 13,500 people, 6,000 or so workers. How are you going to build Nevis? Tell me that. How? How are you going to create the critical mass in Nevis, the movement that is necessary, so that the hair braider and the sandy fried chicken and the barbecue man, that they have scope to grow? How? We got a joke here. We say you can't get 2 dances in Nevis the same night. One must bus. You can't have 2 dances the same night. One of them will get a bus. If you're listening out there and you don't understand what get a bus mean, it means that you won't have anyone at your dance, because the island can't sustain 2 big events in one night. And I hear people with all this nonsense saying that they went to school and they have degrees. Nobody's looking at the realities of development. How are we going to move this island and this country forward? If all we do is the same thing that we always did, we will get the same results that we always got. I heard Royal Isaac say so at the funeral of Sir Edmund Lawrence, and it is now in my mind. Because some of us want to do the things that we always did and expect to get different results. Well, how are you going to get different results? How? And we as a government are saying, listen, we are tired of our young people coming out of school and sitting home, don't have something to do, or when they get something, that's not what they really want to do. We want to give them options in the island of their birth. We are tired of when our young people go abroad and come back. They have a degree, all of them are coming to government because they're saying there are not enough options in the private sector for them. We are tired of the many who went away and never passed back because they didn't have the opportunities in the land of their birth to bring them home. And I see even some of those who went away and never came back. They're out there saying they're against this development for Nevis, but they don't even own a full cub in Nevis. They're not invested a penny in Nevis. They've not done anything to move this island forward. And so to my mind, rather than castigating those of us who are at home, who are trying every day to build this island, man, join us. Hold our hands. Bring your expertise to bear. Bring your money, because some of them boast so much money they have. Build something in Nevis. Start a business in Nevis. Hire somebody in Nevis. But if you refuse to do that, then why should you then be upset at a government that is trying to do that with others who are willing? I have so many people here in Nevis, when I hear them talk, I say, wow. I remember that old saying that some want to box bread out your mouth and can't give you a biscuit. You got to be careful, you know. You have to be careful. Some people want to box bread out your mouth. And when the bread fall out your mouth and you're hungry, they can't afford to give you a biscuit. And I just want our people to start to think seriously about what I'm saying. I don't know what God has in store for me. I may well be here, as we know. Our life is but a vapor. One moment you're here, the next moment you're gone. But I, whether I'm here or not, want our people to reflect on this. Replay this show from tonight. Consider what I'm saying. What is the future that we're trying to create for our people? Now some say, oh, the lands on the south of Nevis, keep them in local hands. I understand that sentiment. But do we also accept that if we keep them in local hands, as is suggested, that they have been barren and vacant and abandoned for 100 years, and they will equally be so barren and vacant and abandoned for the next 100 years? And whilst I have no difficulty with some say, well, keep it that way until eternity, my next question then is, what is your proposal? Because you see, we're in a country where many people have opinions, but none have any suggestions to make. None have any solutions. You don't hear one person out there who's cussing say, I would prefer to do this instead. No. In fact, I have noticed something, you know. The people who are making the noise about land on the south coast don't have no land over there. Some of them don't even know where the south coast looks like. But they're making the most noise. I don't hear nobody who has land over them saying a word. And some who making noise now don't sell and collect the money to the same developers. You hear what I tell you? Don't sell and collect from the same developers. Now they go out there and say, they must fight. They must fight against, but secretly they must laugh, you know, because they got the money. So they might encourage you to fight when them pocket fat because they don't sell the land. So you have all of this foolish chatter. And I am just, ladies and gentlemen, saying to us, all of us, no let nobody box bread out your mouth and can't give you biscuit. The government is saying that the development of this zone or something like this zone will allow the island of Nevis to leapfrog its economy, to get explosive growth here to take us to the next level of development. That is what we are seeking to achieve. At one of the meetings, somebody kept saying, oh, there's no guarantee, there's no guarantee. And I recall the Honorable Eric Evelyn, who took that particular comment and said, the only thing guaranteed to us is death, not a thing else. And if anybody out there listening tonight could tell me one thing that is guaranteed to them, I would want to hear it, other than an appointed time to die. So no government, and I'm not here to fool people. I can't sit down here in good conscience and tell you that this is guaranteed to happen. What we can do is our best. We can look at what is before us, listen to the advice, listen to what people are saying, and make the best possible decision, guided not by self-interest but by the interest of the people of Nevis. That's my job. I'm not God. I can't guarantee you that this is going to happen and guarantee you that that is going to happen. But I can look at what is before me, and guided by all that I've heard, make the best decision. And if you are out there and your view is that you are opposed to this, I am saying that is not a bad thing. I am not upset with you. But for God's sake, if you're opposed to it, what then do you offer instead? How do you say to that sixth farmer, I am very sorry, but there is no work in your own country for you that will challenge you and allow you to grow? How do you say to that youngster fresh out of college, I am sorry, but you must stay and take the cold winter of New York or Canada because there is no room for you and your skill set in Nevis? What do you say to those in the diaspora who now have their children and grandchildren who want to come home to make a contribution? That, you know, I'm very sorry because you can't even open a coffee shop because, you know what, they already got 3 or 4 and not enough customers. A lot of times I hear people complain and say the small business community is struggling. There is some truth to it, because absent customers, absent people, how are you going to thrive? How? And we look at other countries and they're moving. I was in Bermuda. I keep using the Bermuda example. One of the richest per capita islands in the world is Bermuda. Bermuda is 22 square miles and has 65,000 people living there. St. Kitts and Nevis together is 104 square miles, and we only have 51,000 people. So we have 5 times almost the size of Bermuda, and we have less people than Bermuda has. You cannot grow a country without people. And all of a sudden I hear some people here saying all kinds of things. And I'm simply saying to our people, see if we can approach big issues like big people without emotion and apply logic and common sense to the facts that we have. I don't know at the end of the day, once you've done that, what conclusion you will arrive at. But whatever conclusion you arrive at, you're entitled to, but let it be based on the facts. Not this hysteria that I hear some people are going on with. Not this effort to attack people. People are carrying on as if this development is somehow for the people in government or for the people in CCM. It's for everybody. And you know, I always remind myself, as much as you hear people talking, you know, that's why I say ignore the noise. I was over that water taxi facility some time ago, and the amount of NRP people, well, I heard you say amount and you can't count. So let me say the number. The number of NRP people that were on that pier, from chief cook down to bottle washer, going to sink it. And all I did was smile. I looked up and I said, praise be to God, because they fought against that pier at Wally. They had all manner of evil to say against that. And that is why I always say, that fellow called Alexis Zook Jeffers, I give him maximum credit, because he was attacked and vilified over that project. And when I look at them, man, the stockings and the high heels, oh, hair well done, looking lovely. Some of them in the too hard shoe, going to sink it, using the water taxi facility that they vilified, that they cursed, and that they said should not be done. But here they are. Here they are. And I am prepared to wager, you know. I saw something today where the people say that over 300 people, I think, something like that, have already signaled that they would like to work at Destiny. I think almost 200 businesses have said they have services that they could offer. And probably another 100 plus people have said that they're interested in scholarships. What does that tell you? So you think all of those people who say they want work and they have business and they want things, you think all of them support CCM? No. Some people will be right there front and center, hanging their mouth with a super drip, simply because that is the nature. Cuss and carry on, but when the dream is realized, they're front and center to take the benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to open the phones, take some calls. If you're out there and you wish to call, the numbers are 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. We'll take your calls. Once the phone's lit up, we are going to get the opportunity to talk to you and for you to share your views with the public. This is On the Mark, and we go to the phones and we say, good evening, you're on the air.
Good evening, Miss Sheriff.
Good evening, my dear.
John 16, verse 12 and 13. I have much more to say to you, more than you can bear. But when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all the truth. He will not speak on his own. He will speak only what he hears, and he will tell you what is yet to come. Have a good evening. May God continue to bless all of us. Bye.
Thank you so very much. I truly, truly appreciate your call, as always, because one thing with you, you always bring a scripture of your choosing. I like to emphasize that so that people know that you're bringing a scripture of your choosing, and it is always something of tremendous value. So thank you very much for that, as always. And we are going to keep taking your calls at 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. It is 5 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. If you've just tuned in, my name is Mark Brantley, and this is On the Mark, straight talk across the Narrows. We've been doing this for a while, and we're still here through the grace of God. Hair is not as black as it used to be. A little gray has come, but we're still here, and people who listen to the show all around the world are still here with us. And so we hope that you will take the opportunity to call in and to share whatever it is you wish to share, but to be a part of it. But whilst I wait for your call, I do have some news. And that news is that the Concerned Citizens Movement, the party that I'm privileged to lead, will be having its convention. Under our Constitution, we have a convention every 2 years. And we'll be having that convention on Sunday, the 26th of October at 4 p.m. at NIPAC. And we're inviting everybody to come. And I mean that. Everybody to come. Let us fill up NIPAC on the 26th, Sunday, the 26th of October at 4 p.m. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Brantley.
Good evening to you.
Hoping all is well.
Yes, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Okay.
We are having some problems over by the medical school area
Uh-huh.
where the apartments are. A lot of students are walking in the road to and from school because they're saying the sidewalks are unkept and they are afraid of what's lurking in the grass.
Yes.
So can you please get someone to clean that area?
I will have it done immediately. I apologize, but I will tell you that we have had in the past a conversation with MUA itself. And we had asked them if they could undertake as a service to themselves, but to also to the community to do those sidewalks. They started, I don't know what would have happened. You know, the student population had fallen quite significantly at one point. So I don't know what that position is. But I will undertake that immediately, caller. So thank you for pointing it out to me. Let me ask you, since you're on the mark, do you think it would benefit from some proper concrete sidewalks?
Certainly, especially in that area.
Yes, I'm talking about that area.
Yes.
You know, rather than the grass, to have some, you know, the regular sidewalks.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I thank you very much for that and consider it taken care of. I will endeavor to deal with that tomorrow, okay?
All right. Enjoy
Okay.
the rest of your evening.
Yes, you too. Thank you for bringing that. And that's what we need. People who see issues and bring them to the fore so that we can address them. As you mentioned, MUA caller, I'm very, very pleased that the MUA has bounced back. It's still not back up to full strength, but it is doing much, much better than it was. I remember many months ago, a caller called in and lamented the fact that the apartments were empty and they were struggling. I have not heard back from that caller, but I'm told that things are now much better because the numbers had fallen very low, but they're well back now, I think over 145 students and growing. And so I want to say congratulations to them. It suggests that our efforts at persevering with them and engaging with them, that those efforts are bearing some fruit. And I have said to them that my target is 1,000 students. So I am hopeful that we can work and continue to build so that MUA can make the contribution that it was always anticipated to contribute to the economy and the life and times of Nevis. Let's go back to the phones. I think they're lighting up. Good evening, you're on the mark. And I have said to them that hello, caller, could you move away? Okay. Callers, please, when you call in, once we answer, if you can move away from your radio or your computer, there tends to be a bit of a delay. And so you sometimes get a little confused as to what's happening. So once the phone picks up when you hear hello, just move away. Turn off your radio or your computer so that we can get into the conversation. So please call back 469-1616, 469-1700. So I was saying that the big blue machine, the Concerned Citizens Movement, the most successful political party in the history of the island of Nevis, and I'm going to check the stats, but it may well be in the history of St. Kitts and Nevis, because when some have only been doing one election, we have been doing two. And so the truth of the matter is that we have doubled up and tripled up sometimes. In fact, I entered politics formally in 2006, and so I've been at this now for the past 19 years. And in 19 years, I was checking, I have contested 9 elections. 9 elections in 19 years, starting with my first, which was a by-election, and then continuing thereafter. So I would have contested a by-election in 2007, then a federal election in 2010, a local in 2011, that was the one with that black fox, came back, won the case, had NRP declared null and void for trying to thief an election. You know, sometimes these fellas, and I said to myself, goodness gracious, these same fellas, you know, the devil trying to come to correct sin, they forget that a whole court tell them go sit down. You try to thief an election, you get caught with your hands in the cookie jar. So we 2007 by-election, 2010 federal, 2011, the one with the big black fox who take 30 pieces of silver. Then we had 2013, 2015, 2017, 2020, and twice in 2022. 9 elections. I wonder if I should make it 10, 11, 12. Or I should stop at 9. I don't know. But 9 in 19 years. And CCM as a party, since it started its winning ways in 1992, has only lost 1 election, and that was in 2006. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark. Hello?
Premier Brantley, good night.
Yes, my brother. How are you?
Not bad. How you do?
Why good, I'm good. I'm here taking it easy.
Yeah, and you brag and boasting about the election that you win.
No, it's not.
But then,
it's not. Let me ask you something. If I say you sound like a man, that's bragging and boasting, or that's stating a fact?
You state one fact, you have
Okay.
brag and boast.
No, because you can't boast and say you're a man.
No, you remember, you also say you even wonder if you see him go for another one.
Well, I'm wondering, what you think?
Huh?
You think I should bang them again?
No, you can't bang them again. Matter of fact, if me should give one good advice, you better not contest the next one.
But me never hear you with anything good advice yet. You're calling every night and it's confusion.
Listen here.
So you got to get a track record before you could offer advice, you know.
Listen here. Listen here.
Let me hear you.
Me hear one song say, the people don't shout no more. The locals, like how they used to shout before. You ever hear the song there?
No, I haven't heard it.
You never hear the song there?
No.
Okay, no problem. Anyway, let me get to something, please.
Yes.
I will not get at this, but a lot of people enjoy the monkey story.
The monkey story?
With the dog them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will not, me got a solution, but I will not get at that tonight. Okay? Remember the last time you talked, me left you with one homework. You remember? For check out me tell you that the chairman for the CIB me found the ZIZ. Launching one program for help small business. You remember that?
Yes.
You check them out?
Well, I saw what was released. I confess I didn't do any additional research other than what was in the public domain. And what I saw is that they were doing some grants, they say, to small businesses of what, $10,000 or was it $25,000? I can't remember now. I think $10,000. So I think 25 businesses, $10,000. So I am aware that people have been applying, and I know that some business people in Nevis told me, some young business people, that they had applied. So that's as much as I know about it.
Okay. Now, me listen to on round table and me listen to on PLP meeting there yesterday. Let me deal with the round table first with Dr. Joe. Premier, would you mind, may I ask some requests, would you mind invite Dr. Joe on Andy Mark for next week?
For what? You don't hear him when he talk or he talk?
No.
You don't sound better if you're on the mark?
Me want the points to get. Because, you see, you say one thing, he only say one other thing.
So what is the thing that I have said that he's saying one other thing? Let me hear you.
Well, you say...
No. Yeah, let me hear you. Go ahead.
You say fair share, he said no. Revenue sharing.
He said no what? Revenue sharing?
Revenue sharing.
So that's
the fair share business, the revenue sharing.
So that's different to fair share?
Of course.
You see why me can't? You see why me can't take your advice serious?
No, me and you can share revenue enough here. You know that.
But you know we can also share it and it's fair. But you know we can also share it and it's fair.
Premier Brantley.
Me ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay, that's what fair. That you know what you know what the word say. Fair share.
Right.
Fair share. Assume that you're sharing fairly.
The journalists are telling more fair share. He said no, revenue sharing.
Okay, all right. Go ahead. That point is not sweet. Go to the next one.
Well, no. That's why you may bring them up, guys. Me no sweet.
but I'll tell you, sweet kind of makes sense. So me want to have something else because a man just text me here say love when you call in a week time, and I said the most joke you get is when you call.
No, listen, Premier Brantley, but no, you're trying to run away from the fact now.
But what is it?
To run away from the
but
fact.
I'm not running from a fact. I'm telling you that joke there, no sweet. So let me move on.
No, this is a serious business mean too.
But what you say, I'm trying to tell you.
Premier Brantley.
Yes.
You said give me 3. And let me go down to Charlestown and let me bring back this fish here. Is that made the talk? No, that Prime Minister Joe say, well, look, Aldo, I will get this paper from the World Bank. He now still don't have enough focus, man, this paper that they get from the World Bank. You know, he said the principle and the Constitution. Did you hear that?
I did not hear him, but you're talking, so go ahead. You tell me he said the principle is the Constitution.
So, Premier Brantley, you know here.
No, ask me what me hear. No, ask me what me hear. Tell me what you hear.
Well, that's me want to put it together. That's why me want to.
So he said it. So he said the principle is the Constitution.
Go back and the Constitution, and when then don't deal with paying out this and paying out that and paying out this and paying out. And that's why we want the toys together. So that you can invite the Tony and Andy for next week. That we can get the toys together.
So caller,
yes.
What would you say if I told you that the proposal that we signed off on when we put Team Unity together was no big different to what the Constitution said, We said, no, hear me out. We said when the money come in from the CBI, take out the expenses and what is left, split it this way. So I don't know what the PM said, and he's have a right to say whatever he wants to say. My simple position is that as far as we are concerned, the resources that are coming into the country should be shared in a way that the people of Nevis can benefit just as the people of St. Kitts can benefit. And I realize that there's some in the country, including, unfortunately, the little island of Nevis, who never supported that idea. But our position has remained consistent. But we are not saying that that is all to what we are seeking to achieve. No, we're still going out there and we're doing great things. We're attracting investors. We're bringing people to Nevis.
Premier Brantley, you're running from the fact.
I am not running away from anything. I don't tell you that this story you bring tonight. No, sweet, but you're not listening to me.
No, you see, you're not fiercely. You run away. You know that according to what you may say.
Caller, I'm trying to tell you. Caller, I've been on the radio for a couple of years. I know you listen to every show that there is, right?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to tell you some topics resonate. The one you tonight you bring, you know what I mean? It not resonate. So when you're the DJ in the dance and you play, listen, but me beg you move on. But me beg you move on long time. When you're the DJ in the dance and nobody dance, you got to change the tune.
You know how to deal with this one, right?
But there's nothing to deal with. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Remember, there is something to deal with.
Okay. All right. Move on to the next point because you're taking up a lot of time tonight. Go ahead.
What Prime Minister Joe actually inaugurated the way you say, and a matter of fact, remember me telling that guy that the Attorney General, if I want to show it Juni, and he said about the when it comes to the CIB there, you and Prime Minister and Prime Minister, you have to go to the Governor General and decide what the CIB money be. You remember that?
I don't call. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you see, this is, I and one another, so that's why I left the people so confused.
But may I suggest to you, you stop listening so much because you confused. And that makes sure I tell you, you listen to so many people, you don't even know what you're hearing.
But remember, I know people hear these shows, and them are listening, right? Them are listening to you, I mean, you want to listen, them are not listening, and now they recognize now that you're not listening.
Okay, caller, you're on the same topic. You're wasting a lot of time now. You can move on, please.
Maybe let me hear something, come back.
Okay, you want to come back, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Good.
No problem. Thanks for the call, as usual. All right. That was our friend there. He calls in every week. Sometimes he calls in with something that's sweet, but tonight, he just took a lot of time there. But, caller, we understand you're trying your best to generate an issue, but we don't see the issue. The issue of fair share is an issue that we have championed as a party. We championed it to get into government. We championed it while we were in government. And when it was not forthcoming from the government that we put in there, we decided that it was time for us to exit, because we kept hearing, we're working on it, hold this for the meantime, hold that for the meantime, until after 7 years of working on it, we tell Timothy, no. Right? And we departed. And we knew that once we departed, Unity would depart too, because they may not wish to give CCM credit, but I think the results from the elections of 2022 shows that CCM was the strength that was in Team Unity, because all of us who were in Team Unity went to the polls. CCM is the only party that came out with what it went in with. Alexis, Eric and I were there. The thing mash up, and the people of Nevis said to Eric, Alexis and I, we're sending you back there because we're satisfied with the work and the representation that you bring. And so the evidence speaks for itself. And so, caller, I believe that the people of Nevis will remember that we, 3 Hebrew boys, we championed the cause for Nevis, and we did so outside of government. And when we got into a government which was in part based on the promise and the commitment of a fair share for Nevis, after all the years of being denied, we left. And the government Kinnicat. And all know Dr. Timothy still a make noise because he's trying to find a way to get back in there. But how are we going to get back in there if CCM is not there to elevate him again as we did before? He tried, He tried. You remember they used to call him the big dog? The big dog. He tried. He run 8 seats, he get 1. And the fella, what his name? Natta? Natta nearly take him out over there. So the reality is that when you look at the numbers, PLP was never viable on its own. But the arrogance, because some people are given a position. They didn't earn it, they're given a position. And then they start to feel that when people say big dog, they really are a big dog. And they forget that they really are a chihuahua. And that others put them on their shoulder so they could be high up in the air and be tall because they were standing on the shoulders of others. But when Pam said no and CCM said no, you realize that the big dog didn't have any shoulders to stand on anymore. And that's in the nature of things. History will write those stories, no doubt. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Premier Brantley.
Yes, brother, you're back again. Yes.
Yeah, man, me have to come back.
Yes.
If you're running from the first bowling, okay, let me come back, swinging again.
Yes.
Well, me listen to Prime Minister Harris and a press conference. And let me tell you something. He is back. He is back. So, me no know, and then...
But you talk like you don't understand politics, you know. That's what I tell you. You must bring things to the table because people like to hear your voice, you know. But you talk about he's back. He ever went anywhere?
Premier Brantley, regardless of people of hear my voice, and so much of my voice want to explore for today. A fact are you deal with.
But when I ask you, when you say somebody is back, that means they went somewhere.
But you just tell you just tell the audience just now when me pan break that he me need the if not me for the CCM, the then away
what I said it isn't factual. The facts, that's why I don't understand when you call, because the facts are there in front of you. You're gonna tell me I say. So if me tell you sound like a man, you're going to say, I say you sound like a man. But you're not a man?
No.
The facts are there.
Listen to me.
Yeah, let me hear you. Let me hear you.
Listen to me. Me say that when me listen to the press conference last night, me say he is back.
Well, me ask if he went anywhere.
Yeah. He went somewhere because he was betrayed.
He was betrayed?
Yes, he was betrayed.
Oh,
yes.
And where he went when he got betrayed?
He went go regroup. So he's back now.
He's back as what?
He's back to win the next election.
All right. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Right?
You start out bad and you go worse. Go ahead.
With what me hear last night, and the kind of coolness of the head there. Team up with Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge. Well, me only can say better for St. Kitts and Nevis when the two heads will get together.
Let me tell you something, right? Your stock dropped tonight because you say a man with one seat is back and he teaming up with a woman who ain't got none.
One seat?
How much seat he have?
Full team.
How much seat he have?
All.
He have all the seat?
Yes.
Man, I tell you.
That's why me ask.
A man tell me you're from Montserrat. You from Montserrat for true?
Press conference.
I tell you, a man tell me you're from Montserrat. You from Montserrat for true?
Yeah, man and bread.
But them no boil ham on a Montserrat.
And you know Montserrat election I will change every year, right? every election you know we get rid when they not perform.
Yeah, but this is not Montserrat, brother. And people here vote for who performing, and that's why CCM has won every election since 1992, except one.
So let me ask some question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask some question. Let me go to the out of the south side. The man for destiny, he said that he can go save Nevis. What do you mean by that?
He can go save Nevis?
Yeah, he can go save Nevis.
Oh, well, I didn't hear him say that.
You know, he said that?
No.
So, Premier Brantley, like, you know, just listen to nothing.
No, that's what I tell you. You listen too much, you get confused with what you're listening. Because me listen that thing 100 times, me never hear the man say, come go save Nevis.
Why is another line in there?
What he say?
Yes.
He didn't say that. That's what I can tell you.
Okay, all right. If you hear, he said this. He say that he gonna make Nevis the safest destination.
That's what he said?
That? The safest. Yeah.
That's what he said?
Me ask if you hear that.
No, me never hear him say gonna make Nevis the safest destination. Me
Why
never hear
say
that.
you gonna make safe? The zone?
That's what I believe he was talking about. The zone.
So what is zone be? What is zone be, Premier Brantley?
So if he say gonna make that neighborhood the safest neighborhood, that say he make Nevis the safest island and the safest place in the world?
Okay, that's exactly what he told him like that. That's exactly what.
You see, I tell you, you're listening, but you're not here. You understand?
No.
Because the kind of things them that you say people say. Me wonder what you listen to.
Premier Brantley, that's what me want to hear. So here now. The zone is going to be the safest. The zone and Navy. Right? The zone and Navy, right? But the zone are going to be the safest. So outside of the zone, you're not interested in the safety outside of the zone?
Well, why should...
not the
Well,
zone?
let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you something. You know Nevis has a government?
So that?
You know that Nevis has a government?
Yes.
You know that there's a federal government?
Yes.
Okay. You know that the federal government is responsible for national security?
Yes.
Okay. So why you want any investor to come in to tell you that they're going to make your country the safest country in the world?
That's not me want the investor to say. That's not what the investor say.
I tell you, the man did not say that. The man was talking about what the neighborhood he's trying to create. And no matter how I tell you that what you say not true, you're still going down the road. Listen to the thing again.
Brantley, you just said him just now. He said the neighborhood that he want to. So this is me ask. This is me ask you. This is the neighborhood that he want to create. That means his own security. Right or wrong?
He wants to create what, caller?
Oh, Premier Brantley.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. He wants to create...
Conversation.
I didn't hear you. Say he wants to create what?
You just tell me just now, right? That he say the neighborhood that he wants to make safe.
Yes.
Like I was saying.
Yes.
If it's the neighborhood that he wants to make so safe, that means he have got his own everything to make this neighborhood safe, and not concentrate on you and Prime Minister and you and security.
Okay, caller. If that is your interpretation, well, you know.
Premier Brantley, so that no use interpretation either.
Well, caller, I'll be honest with you. I listened to the thing about 50 times by now, and all know me struggle to understand what you tell me. Right? I tell you already, take a couple of weeks. My advice to you, yeah? No, my advice to you, you need to take a couple of weeks off, stop listening so much radio, and regroup, right?
You already find the facts and tonight, you know. That's what you're doing.
Well, all right, if you call them facts, I call them jokes, but go ahead. What else you have for me tonight? Oh, you come back. Well, Lord, I hope when you come back, you come back harder, because this thing getting difficult now. So when you come back, I hope you come back stronger, because I don't understand what the point you're making, right? If somebody is coming in and they're doing a development and they say, I want this to be the best development, I want it to be safe, I want it to be green, I want it to follow all the lines, the canons of sustainability, I want to create my own electricity, I want to create my own water, my waste disposal. The people are telling you what they would like to see in their development. You're not going to say, oh, that means they don't care about the rest of Nevis. How you get to that? I mean, you know, that's why I say, some of us are listening, you know, but we're not sure we are hearing. We're not sure that we take time to understand what we are listening to. Because, you know, I truly just don't get it. The man say coming to save Nevis. Let me understand. What your name, Jesus? Caller, you call back in, man. Come, because you called twice now. You take up a whole heap of time. And, you know, you're not registered nothing yet. So me are hopeful that if you come back with something now that we could really get our teeth into. Okay? Let's go back to the phones. 25 minutes to the hour of 10 o'clock. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Yeah, good night. Come here.
Yes, good evening to you.
Yeah, I heard a little argument with with the guy who was just on the radio.
Yes,
saying something about some $10,000 for business owners have to sign up for some program. And I clearly understand.
You don't clearly understand what, caller. Please explain.
Some $10,000 you were saying for some government, some program.
Oh, yes. There's a program that has been announced by the Citizenship by Investment Unit in St. Kitts, saying that they're offering $10,000 grants to up to 25 businesses, small businesses. And they have a process where you can apply. So I was indicating to him that from what I'm told, some youngsters in Nevis have said that they have applied, but I don't know anything further about it. So if you go on the small business grant Citizenship by Investment Unit, you will get the information there.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, caller, you're most welcome. We have 25 or so minutes left. We're taking your calls. 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. Those are the numbers to call. And if you want to be a part of the show, I would encourage you to call in and share your views and opinions. Yes, so the Big Blue Machine, Sunday the 26th of October, 4 p.m. sharp at NEPAC. We will be having our convention and inviting the whole of Nevis and St. Kitts and Anguilla, wherever you are. We're inviting you to come because we have important things to say, and we want you to come and experience what it's like to be part of the Big Blue Machine. It's very important. The machine has been in the shop for a while. We're taking it out, we're rolling it out of the shop on the 26th of October at NEPAC, 4 p.m. sharp. And then on the 27th, which is the Monday at 7 p.m., we have a town hall meeting for the general public at the Anglican Church Hall in St. Paul's at 7 p.m. And we invite one and all to come out to that. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark. Hello? Yes, brother.
Yes.
Caller, your phone now seems to be acting up a bit. Could you're in stationary?
Yeah, in stationary. Is it better?
It's a little better. Go ahead now.
Yes.
Yes, so I can hear you now.
See me first call bring some kind of benefit there, ain't it? Right. So let me hope that this one bring a little bit more benefit now. On the round table, somebody asked Prime Minister Joe about the dialysis.
Yes.
Right. And asked if problem solved. But Dr. Joe round and round the mulberry. That's what me want to buy a program for them with you. Right? That's when you give one story. The next thing now, you have to go so far, by he forget you to when we two are together now. It's much better. So please, me beg that you bring it on the mark next show, Wednesday. You promise me that?
No, but me hear you.
You not promise me that?
No, but I hear you. So go ahead.
Okay, no problem. Let me deal with the dialect. So he round and round the mulberry bush, and we don't even think that thing. Anyway, he said that some citizens of United States that overseas give so much of dialysis machine.
Yeah.
That he even give away. So may I ask you Premier Brantley, did you ever ask for any dialysis machine?
No.
So who you get into?
Me don't know. You should ask he.
So you not hear the part. You don't know.
What I say? The man say he give away machines. You gonna ask me who he get them to?
Because Nevis one.
Nevis one
dialysis machine.
Nevis.
And he get some of that he give away.
So caller, you think that dialysis is just a machine?
Premier Brantley,
yeah.
May tell you what Dr. Joe say.
Yes, but you said Nevis. Caller, me hear what you say now. But I'm trying to get you to appreciate that getting a dialysis machine does not mean that you can provide dialysis. Here.
Me know that need the other stuff them to go, but the point about it, he said that he give way.
Okay.
So me ask, if he gave half for you, one, that he said give way.
And I've answered that. I said he has not. You then ask me who he get them to. I said I don't know. You must ask him.
So that's why we need he to sit down with you.
No, you don't need him to sit down with me.
No, that you think we could have just refer to him now.
No, well you could refer
right in front of you who he gave to.
But caller, you could refer to him if he said he gave away dialysis machine. We're calling to whatever program he on and ask him who he give them to. Or you call me.
If you can the round table, you can call in a round table Premier Brantley.
So when he next on the air, ask him.
When next Monday, when you know when Dr. Jonas comes on the you can't get in.
Oh, but you get in here 3 times already for the night.
That's why
you see you like the governance that I bring? 3 times for the night you get in. Huh?
Exactly.
And you got the heart to tell me about Janice. You ever get in on a program with Janice yet?
You never get on a program with Janice? Remember me, I'm a Janice cheerleader, you know.
But if you're a cheerleader, you need new cheerleaders because you're not doing a good job at all.
Janice cheerleader, so me Premier Brantley.
But if you see the message, I get it on my phone.
Please.
What is it for?
Please invite Dr. Jup on your program.
Me tell you, I invite the man on my program. Me hear you, but not tell nobody you fool me. So, move on and think, let me get something else.
Okay, let somebody else come in and then it's back.
All right, okay, brother. Thanks a million. All right. We have about 18 minutes. I like my partner from Montserrat, because one thing with him, he doesn't give up his point. Even if I don't get the point sometimes, he going to argue till the end. So, we are going till 10 o'clock. We have 18 minutes left, and we're taking your calls. 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700 if you want to be a part of this show. Just going back to this Saturday, we have cricket, lovely cricket, 50 overs, St. Kitts against Nevis at the Brownhill playing field, starting at 10 a.m. And let's go back to the phones. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
As a younger person, question. I'm going back into the history books, and I'm reminded of when Nevis, St. Kitts Nevis, got independent from Britain.
Yes.
Can you give an idea of what happened then? What was the atmosphere like? The other was, I think, change in 1993. I was too young to understand. When change is about to happen in this federation, is it like this?
Well, listen, I think it is human nature that people are afraid of change. Yes, no problem. It is human nature that people are afraid of change. When independence came, in fact, there was a lot of chatter as we were talking about independence. The talk came that if you have two goats, they're going to take away one. If you have 2 cows, they're going to take away one. There was a high degree of fear-mongering and a high degree, as you're seeing right now, a high degree of anxiety because you were stepping out into the unknown. I heard it said recently that you will never know what is in the ocean if you are afraid to leave the shore. And a lot of us are afraid to leave the shore. We are paralyzed by fear. And as a result of that, people become agitated because they do not have the courage to step out and to do something different. The world has shown that it belongs to those who are willing to do something different. Inventions, the automobile, the airplane, you name it, they've all come about because people have been interested in doing things differently, in creating something and doing something differently. I heard somebody today, for example, caller, who said, why does Nevis, St. Kitts and Nevis have to be the guinea pig for a sustainable economic zone? And I reflected and I smiled because in 1984, when we created the Citizenship by Investment program, it was the first in the world of its kind. The first in the world. When the Four Seasons came to Nevis way back in 1990, 1991 or thereabouts, it was the first Four Seasons in the entire Caribbean. Should our people have said we don't want to be a guinea pig for Four Seasons? So you're right, when independence would have come in 1983, and then change would have come in terms of change of government, 1995 eventually, but 1993 there was huge disruption here. I was at the time away at law school, but considerable disruption and confusion because change was in the air. And so the truth of the matter is that we can always expect that there will be change. You remember, caller, I'll go back to the Bible. You remember when God chose Moses to lead his people out of bondage in Egypt. And when the people were walking and Moses left them and went up into the mountains, that is believed when he got the 10 Commandments. And when he came back, what did he meet? People were worshipping false gods. And some of them were telling Moses, why you bring us out of Egypt? Remember, in Egypt they were slaves, they were in bondage. And yet they were saying to Moses, why you bring us out of Egypt to bring us in this God-forsaken place for us to die of hunger? We prefer to go back to Egypt. They were saying that they prefer to go back to slavery than to experience change. And that is human nature. There's nothing new under the sun. When the Four Seasons Resort was going to come here, I was a youngster then, but someone reminded me recently of how many people were opposed to it. Fellas said they can't catch crab. The white man coming to take over. Colonialism coming back. The plantation system coming back. They will not be able to go to the beach anymore. Do any of those things sound familiar? Because here we are 35 years on, same hymn book, same hymn, singing the same Sankey. And that is the reality, caller, of humans. So that is why I say, leaders must ultimately lead. If Jesus couldn't get everyone to follow him, then there's no way that Mark Brantley could ever get everyone to follow him. In fact, the only countries in the world where everybody follows the leader, there's a name for those. They call them dictatorships. And people are not following willingly, they're forced to follow a dictator. I believe in democracy with all my heart. I believe that our people should have their voice. And I believe ultimately that their voice should be heard at elections. Somebody will win, somebody will lose. But the people have put me here. And I am here to lead, not to follow. To lead, not with arrogance, with humility. To listen, but ultimately to lead. I can't take a poll for every decision and say, boy, the poll didn't go so well, so let me not take that decision. I can't put my finger in the air to see which direction the wind blowing in and then take a decision based on that. That's not leadership, that is followership. And you have to lead. The way I hear some people saying the matter now is like, you must listen to who making noise on Facebook and make decisions based on who making noise on Facebook. No, you must listen to who making noise. Yes, you must listen to all the noise. You must pick sense from nonsense, but ultimately you have to take a decision. Because that is what people elected you to do. To take decisions. Sometimes difficult decisions, but decisions nevertheless, which are grounded in your love of people and your love of country. And so, caller, change is always something that distresses people. Some are bold people. They want to step out from the shore because they want to know what's in the ocean. Others will stay rooted to the shore because they are afraid to step out and find out what's in the ocean. Well, I am not afraid. I have never been afraid. If I were, I don't believe I would have got as far as I've got thus far with the grace of God. God has not given me a spirit of fear. And that is what encourages and strengthens me as I move forward on this island of Nevis here to do the best that I can. When I'm gone, it will be for the historians to write. Perhaps I warrant a footnote, perhaps not. But I'll be gone anyway. It'll be a matter for them to write and to determine whether or not I did my best and whether my best was good enough. Let's go back to the phones and continue to take calls. We have about 10 minutes. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark.
Yes, preacher man, Premier Brantley. Listen, you believe, may I ask you now for your belief. You believe you're going to get this every project pull off before the next election?
Caller, we're working on many things that we hope to have in place before the next election, but this for us is not about an election. We are selected by the people, elected by the people, to govern, and we will have to govern. The law predicts when election should be, and so whenever the election is due, the election will happen. But we are going to work up to the last day to ensure that we can deliver on our commitments to the people of Nevis, and that's what we are working on. So whether this project or some other project is going to happen, I could assure you we will be working on all that we can work on to make sure that the people of Nevis get the benefit.
You know, answer me, right?
That is the answer.
That is the answer?
Yes. We'll be working on bringing to the fore all the projects that we have in the pipeline. That's what we'll be doing.
Brantley, if one teacher me ask you this for a pass, you know the pass, right?
Well, I've never had that problem in my life.
Well. So you
Caller, you disappeared. You there? Hello?
Yeah. You hear me?
Yes.
Remember, okay. From the time you're in office until now, give me at least about project.
Give you at least what?
At least about three project that you start and finish.
I could give you three. Just let me see. I could give you three in St. John's in my own constituency.
Now your own constituency.
I say I can give you three. Well, I can tell you I can give you three in my own constituency. I don't have to go overall because that will be several hundred. So in my own constituency, Braziers Road, Brownhill Road, and Bath Road. That's three projects that we did just in St. John's.
Okay, so the Brownhill Road right now, like on glass face or we got potholes and so forth.
What got potholes?
Ask me not tell you. I tell you that we got potholes. Me ask you if the road, the same project that you start and thing, if the surface perfect right now.
As far as I know. I did not inspect it tonight, but as far as I know.
So when people drive on the road, no potholes.
Caller, we don't have pothole roads in Nevis, you know. You been to Nevis lately?
Premier Brantley?
May I ask you a question?
No.
Well, you need to come, man, because that is your problem. You talk, but you don't know what you talk about.
Yeah, but Premier Brantley, me hear one woman calling about some cherry garden road or something like that. And you promise the woman that you're going to say that.
Lord Jesus, I keep telling you, you don't know what you're saying. No? Me tell you Brownhill Road, you can't mean a cherry garden, no?
No, you say, I will not got no part
Caller, you started out by asking me a question.
Yes.
You asked me, could I name three projects that I started and finished? I gave you three. Okay. You have another question for me?
So, remember you said no pothole in Nevis just now?
Caller,
you remember you said that just now?
Caller, what I'm trying to convey to you is that the infrastructure in Nevis is excellent. Okay?
Okay.
You know any country in the world that don't have one pothole? No. Because once you have infrastructure, you will have to continue to upkeep and repair your infrastructure. But you started out by asking me for three projects. I never bother go to the whole of Nevis. I give you three in my constituency off the top of my head.
Okay, but then somebody else from other constituency would have looked forward and I would have asked, what Premier Brantley actually do for all these reasons that he boasts and I say he wins? What could that he actually bring to Nevis?
Well, caller, if you
That
want to
benefit
go down
Nevis.
that road, then there is a very long list, As I said, you haven't been to Nevis, but perhaps if you come, you may want to visit the water taxi facility at Wally. You may want to visit the brand new police station at Newcastle. You may want to visit the Bath Stream to see what has been done there.
Maybe not that a couple of times.
And all the,
but not since you refurbished.
well, all right. So you, as I said, you need to come. You may want. Because I suggest if you come, you may get lost. You may want to look at the road network all across Nevis, the Island Main Road, Shaw's Road, Hanley's Road. You may want to look at the housing developments all across Nevis, particularly in Maddens, where there is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful housing developments anywhere in the Caribbean. You may want to look at the equipment at the hospital, the new specializations at the hospital. You may want to look at the brand new ambulances. You may wish to look at the call centers that have opened, Paradise Beach Hotel, the expansion of Mount Nevis Hotel. You may want to look at the villas that have been expanded and built out at Four Seasons. There's a number of things you may wish to look at.
Okay.
Next time I suggest if you have that question, you call in at the top of the hour and let me talk about an hour.
But the voters them not exactly why they tell me. The voters them not exactly that.
Well, if the voters live here, and unlike you, they're actually on the ground, and they're seeing what they're seeing. Well, what do you think? When people drive on good road, they don't know?
We like each other one and I'm refused.
But me not understand you.
Now,
So you say when people use the water taxi facility, then don't know? People know, people see, people understand.
Okay, but
yes.
Premier Brantley, as the outsider, me listening, me hear about the hospital wing.
Yes.
You know, so you try to run away from that.
Well, what do you mean run away? I don't understand.
The expansion of the airport.
The expansion of the airport has not yet started. The hospital wing is still unfinished. We hope to restart that very soon. We are trying to just button down our financing. The airport is about to start. And what else you want to hear from me?
The Mondo track.
The Mondo track has been completed. The phase that we committed to, that is the track, has been there. We have not had the resources to do the pavilion or the stadium, but people use the Mondo track every day.
Okay, so you believe that you're doing enough for win one of the election?
Well, caller, that is a matter that is up to the people, you know. That is not up to me. I am saying to you that I will continue to work, but you called in to ask about projects. So I don't have no list in front of me. I just give you a couple off the top of my head.
Yes.
But it look like I give you so much you get weary one time, and so you start to tell me. You know?
But are you the premier? You're not listening in front of you.
No, but me tell you, well, I don't know what question you're going to ask, but it look like the couple I give you, you get tired. Right? So.
Yeah, me get tired for this week.
Well, you did a good job tonight because you control the whole show. So I want to thank you for that. Yeah?
Yes. But let me ask one more request. Can you bring over Prime Minister Joe on your program for next week?
Okay, me hear you and me don't answer you. But if you want me to answer you again, the answer is no. Thank you very much for your call. We appreciate it very much. And I hear the band striking up. That means we have to go. That's my good friend from Montserrat. Thank you very much, sir. And we continue to encourage others to call and be a part of the show. But the banner struck up, it means we have to go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for this evening. I want to say thank you for those who called. Thank you for those who tuned in. Thank you for the commentary online. We truly appreciate it. And we truly appreciate this exchange. For me, this is therapy. This is the ability to come here and to laugh and to really just allow the humanity that is in us to come out. And so I thank everyone. Again, this Saturday, St. Kitts versus Nevis cricket, all roads lead to Brown Hill. On the 26th, Sunday the 26th, the Big Blue Machine will be having its convention. Listen out, it will be at 4 p.m. at NEPAC. And on Monday the 27th, we have a town hall meeting at the Anglican Church Hall in Charlestown at 7 p.m. sharp, where we talk about this proposed development in the south coast of Nevis. We look forward to hearing from you and to continuing to engage with you. This is government that is open and transparent and engaging. Thank you for tuning in. Good night and God bless you.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the